What's up, guys? It's me, Grey Wolf, back here to do another video for you. This video is another first of its kind on Grey Wolf Studios. This is my very first video blog. And the reason that I want to do a video blog, and probably not going to do a lot of them, but I'm going to start doing occasional video blogs, basically just to relay information to you guys. There's certain times when, like right now, for example, I've got a lot of stuff going on that's not RC related, and it's actually been really cutting into my my ability to do RC right now. So I wanted to, the main purpose of this video blog is going to be discussing that kind of, that stuff and what's going on and what to expect, or what I'm hoping, will be the case anyway, in terms of what to expect. But I just wanted to throw it out there that I may, in fact I probably will do other video blogs from time to time. I don't plan on doing a lot of them, but from time to time I probably will do one, just whenever I have information I want to relate to you guys, or not relate, I'm sorry, relay to you guys about different things that are going on, various projects maybe that I'm working on, or what have you. So with that being said, I am taking a break from RC for a little bit. That's not to say that I'm not going to do anything RC related, but I'm expecting, and I've been experiencing probably an 80 to 90% reduction in RC activity right now. There's a bunch of different reasons for it. Probably there's really two main factors involved. One of the main factors is the fact that I've really just I'm really trying to stop. I'm trying to cut out saying in my videos. So every time I do it, I'm going to point it out so I can, train myself not to do it. So what I was saying was, I'm kind of burnt out, basically. That's one of the first things. I'm burnt out. For the last couple of years, I have basically lived, breathed, ate, and slept RCs. Basically, if I wasn't at work, I was at home either making videos or working on RCs, or I was taking them out, and bashing them, doing something with them, working on my hobby room. Almost everything was RC related, and I haven't taken time to do anything else, with the exception of the stuff that I have to take time to do with, like with my wife or whatever. Not that I don't enjoy spending time with my wife, don't get me wrong, but being married, you can't you can't always do RC 24/7. But if I didn't have to do stuff with her, or there wasn't something I wanted to do with her, and I wasn't at work, I was doing RC stuff. Now, before RC came along, there were PCs for me. I'm an IT guy by trade. I've been into PCs for as long as I can remember, going all the way back to Commodore 64s, which half you guys probably aren't even old enough to remember what Commodore 64s are. But PCs, computers, they were my first passion. Now, I'm not saying that they're my first passion in the sense of I like them more than RCs. I don't know that that's true, but I'm saying for my first passion in terms of the fact that PCs existed to me before RC did, and not just in video gaming, but just playing around with servers, just anything, networking, anything PC related. And I've really been spending the little bit of time that I've had, I've been spending doing some PC stuff. I've picked up one or two older video games that I used to play. I've kind of been toying around with them. There's a new one that I've been toying around with here lately, and those have captured my attention for now. I think, and here this leads into the second reason why I'm taking a break, but part of the reason why I think I've gotten kind of back into those things is because right now I'm experiencing a lack of RC funds. My wife and I have done a lot of stuff around the house, and we've racked up a rather large credit card bill that we want to try to pay off fairly quickly. There's several things around the house that my wife wanted to get or upgrade or replace, or what have you, and we really want to get that paid down. So I'm channeling my money away from RC for a while into paying that debt off. As you guys know, interest will kill you, and I don't particularly want to pay a bunch of interest on this stuff. But it was all stuff that should have already been done, and pretty much hadn't, because I've been blowing off a lot of stuff for the last couple of years because of RCs. So I'm kind of just taking a step back to, channel my attention and resources back into other directions that I've been neglecting. We've recently upgraded several things around the house. We bought a new couch. We bought a new TV, a new TV stand, just stuff like that. I got a new monitor for my main gaming / video editing machine. We put a TV and a sound system in the bedroom. Just stuff that we've been talking about doing for the last 2 or 3 years, or have been wanting to do and just haven't done it, basically because I've been blowing a lot of our money on RC stuff. So at any rate, with that being said, let's see, I'm taking a look at my notes here. I made a bunch of notes for this thing. So on top of a lack of RC funds, which is a temporary lack of RC funds, I should say, my wife and I have been doing more stuff together here recently. There's quite a few things that, now that it's spring, that my wife and I have wanted to do, which don't involve us being here at the house, and it definitely doesn't involve RCs, because my wife's not, she's occasionally interested in RCs, but not really. So at any rate, yeah, I've been doing all this stuff around the house and spending more time with her and stuff, because really I haven't been doing enough of that stuff for the last couple of years, because I've really been hitting the RC stuff too hard. And my wife is very tolerant of my hobbies, and she gives me a lot of room to do my own thing, which I really appreciate. But when I reach, if I cross over a certain limit, she will speak up, and then I make a concerted effort, not because she'll bitch, or not because she'll get angry or whatever, but just because I try to be a good husband when I can. So, and anything that makes her happy ultimately makes my life easier. I'm sure you guys your married guys can understand that. So at any rate, I will be taking a break, but I will still have videos coming out occasionally. I have several videos. In fact, I probably have close to 10, I'm not even sure, somewhere around 10 or 11 videos that are shot that haven't even been edited yet. So those will slowly be coming out, and in fact, it's probably a good thing that I'm taking a break, because it'll give me a chance to catch up on some other things. I'm learning how to airbrush RC bodies. That's something that I have all the supplies for. I don't need really to purchase anything for that, so I'm planning on spending some time doing that. I've got several bodies that need to be painted, and I've got a bunch of paints and the airbrushes. I got everything I need for it, so I'll probably be spending a little bit of time doing that, and you can probably expect to see a video or two, and definitely some pictures of that. I don't know how good my first one will be, so maybe I won't post that one up, but you know, if I start getting some decent ones, I'll definitely put up some pictures, and maybe even a video. It is actually my hope at some point to do a video on airbrushing altogether, probably a multi-part thing with covering different aspects of airbrushing. A lot of the questions that I've been running into in the process of trying to learn it myself, I'm going to try to do videos on it and share that knowledge with you guys. Let's see what else. And also, not only will I be doing, not only will I have some video content still coming out while I'm taking a break, but I'll probably still be doing some RC stuff. I mean, I still have some kits that are running. I have quite a few kits actually that are torn apart at the moment, in need of parts and whatnot. And some of those parts I have coming, some of them I still need to get. So how much RC stuff I get to do, over the next, I'm expecting the break to be maybe a couple months, give or take. It could be shorter, it could be longer. It just kind of depends. I just do whatever I feel like doing at the time, and right now that's not really RC. And not just because of the money aspect of it, but I'm really just ready to do other things. I've been enjoying going out with my wife. We went out to dinner the other night. First time we've done that in a long time. That kind of thing. So, yeah, I mentioned the fact that I'll probably start doing the occasional video blog podcast. I've been toying around, and I've had the notion to do podcast for a long time. Not sure if it's going to happen or not, but I just wanted to throw it out there to you guys. Maybe you guys can give me some feedback. But I've been thinking about doing a podcast because podcasts are more interactive than videos. The video, you're just sitting here listening to me, ramble on about what's going on with me, and that's all good and fine. Hopefully you guys are at least somewhat interested in what's going on with my channel, and with me in particular. But a podcast would give me a chance to have other people on there, and it would be more interactive, and give people a chance to voice their opinions and their experiences with whatever facet of RC we want to talk about. If you're familiar with maybe the Cooking with Nitro show, I don't want to copy Cooking with Nitro, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, but the Cooking with Nitro show is a podcast that's done. It's an RC podcast that's done. It's not exactly what I have in mind. What I've got in mind is different than that. It's kind of along those same lines, in the sense that I would like to have, a couple of core people that are on the podcast every episode, and then we bring in, some extras, whether they're YouTube or Facebook fans, or whatever. Give other people a chance to come on and contribute to the conversation, and just share what's going on in their world, kind of thing. But what I don't want to do, that Cooking with Nitro does, is Cooking with Nitro is very scripted. Squirrel is very reliant on scripts, I think, or at least I got that impression. I was on a Cooking with Nitro episode one time, and I used to be Squirrel's the guy that runs Cooking with Nitro, by the way. A lot of you guys probably know him for his YouTube videos. Squirrel used to be my I guess I'll call him my RC hero. He used to be my RC hero, quote unquote, until we had a falling out. And I'm not going to get into that. Don't even ask. But just chalk it up. I'll just call it. I'll chalk it up by simply calling it a personality conflict. We didn't get along very well, and that's fine. We went our separate ways. But I was a member of his forums for a while. I was a huge fan of his videos. His videos are really what saved my bacon when I first got into RC. When I first got into RC, man, I was having all kinds of problems. I had all kinds of questions, and it seemed like he had a video for almost every aspect of, or even if it didn't directly relate to the problem I was having, it was somewhat related, and by watching enough videos kind of allowed me to piece together, what might be going on. So even though Squirrel and I don't get along in person, or on the internet, or whatever you want to call it, not in person, I don't know the guy in real life or anything, but even though we didn't get along on the internet, I'm not bad-mouthing him, because his work in terms of his videos is phenomenal, and I'm sure I am not the only person that he has tremendously helped over the years. So I don't want to take anything away from him, but at the same time I don't want to copy him either. His Cooking with Nitro show is his baby, and I don't want to intrude on that. Just like my videos, he inspired me to do videos. The reason I do videos today is because of him. I figure if I can help people, if I can just even help a couple of people, if I can just help 1% of the amount of people that Squirrels help, then I feel like I've done something other than just hog what I know about RCs to myself, and that's really what I want to do. Is I really want to share my knowledge with other people, because Squirrel's sharing his knowledge is what helped me stay in the hobby. If it hadn't been for him, man, I'd have taken my LST2. That was the first RC kit I ever owned, by the way, and I'd have chucked it over the cliff and the gravel quarry where I go and bash, and I'd have never looked back. So, at any rate, I can tell from Squirrel's videos that he does do scripting, and I can tell his Cooking with Nitro is scripted, and that's fine. That really helps create a smoother product. It's not that it's much more smooth and fluent than mine. But at the same time, when it comes to the podcast, it seemed like when I was on the one episode that I was on, it really seemed to me like 75% of what was going on was just Squirrel talking, and basically reading from his script, and then every once in a while, maybe 15% of the other, another 15% of the time, it would be one of his core guys, chiming in on what they thought or what they did or whatever. And then, like, the remaining 10% of the time was split up between, like, the 2 or 3 other guests that were on the show. And, the show is an hour long, the podcast is an hour long, and maybe this is just my recollection. I'd never really gone back to listen to it, but I remember after the whole thing was done, I remember sitting there thinking to myself, wow, I didn't hardly get to say anything the whole show. Like 2 or 3 times I got to say something, and those 2 or 3 times it was just like very, very short. And if you go on too long, Squirrel will just kind of butt in and take back control of the show, and then roll right back into a script and just keep going. And don't take that as me knocking his show. I'm not trying to say anything bad about his show. I'm just saying I don't want, if I have a podcast, I don't want my guests to feel like I'm just running roughshod over them, and they're just there to kind of, I don't know, take up space, basically. So I want it to be less me and more other people talking. So let me know what you guys think about that. This is the closest I've ever come to scripting. I actually did write a bunch of notes that I wanted to cover in this video. Just because the first time I did this video, it ended up being extremely long, and I'm trying to cut it down, although I can tell I'm running long again already. Let's see. My Boxy Brown videos. My Boxy Brown videos, I just want to take a second to cover those. I understand that my Boxy Brown videos are my least popular videos. I knew they would be my least popular videos when I started making them. I've caught a lot of shit from making them from various people. Some people basically just simply don't like unboxing videos. Some people have even gone to the extreme of accusing me of using my Boxy Brown videos to just show off, you know, how much RC stuff I have and whatnot. And that's the farthest thing from the truth. And there's people, you know, there's been people say all kinds of things in between those two, you know, those two extremes. And then some people actually like the videos. There are a handful of people out there that have told me that they really enjoy watching them. You know, they watch them like when they're at work or whatever. You know, they'll have them playing in the background, something to kill time with. And I just wanted to let you guys know that I don't have any plans to stop doing them, and I wanted to let you guys know why. Because there are people out there that do like them. They do get, you know, views. And not that I'm out to get views, but I'm just saying they get views in the sense that people do watch them. So it takes very little effort on my part to make them. I just got to sit down and open the stuff up anyway. The only effort that it takes on my part is, you know, collecting stuff over a week or a 2-week time period to actually gather up enough stuff to do a video on. But I don't think I'm going to stop making them, because I do know some people like them, and I wanted to take a minute to explain why I make them. I don't make them to show off. I don't care about showing off. I don't even have that much RC stuff in the overall scheme of things. I mean, if you compared what I have to, like, say what Squirrel or DJ Medic or Jang has, or any of those guys have way more shit than I do. I understand that I do have a fair amount. In fact, I got quite a bit of RC stuff. I'm not going to deny that I don't have, you know, a generous amount of RC stuff, but I'm not trying to show off. I'm not trying to impress anybody. The reason I started making the Boxy Brown videos was because I like watching Jang's unboxing videos. Jang does unboxing videos, and I think they're very interesting. And again, I like some of the people that watch mine. I watch his when I'm at work, and I got it playing in the background. I'm kind of half watching it, half working on a laptop or whatever. And I like watching his because it gives me ideas. You know, sometimes I'll see something on there and I'll be like, oh wow, I bet I could use that, you know, on this project or this kit or whatever. And sometimes I see things on there that I didn't even know existed in the RC world. That to me is really cool. I like being able to see all the RC content and be exposed to, you know, to new items and things I didn't know were even out there, or stuff that maybe I'd seen around before, but you know, maybe when, you know, sometimes Jang will give an idea why he bought something, and then that'll spark an idea in me, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I could use something similar and do this, or, you know, whatever. So all I'm trying to do is basically do the same thing for other people that Jang does for me, and I'm sure for other people too. So I just wanted to touch on that. because I've gotten a lot of hate over the Boxy Brown videos, and I just want to let you guys know why I was making them, and that I probably wasn't, I don't have any immediate plans to stop. I have thought about it several times, but I don't think I'm going to. I've had enough people tell me that they watch them now. I think I'm going to keep doing them. So at any rate, that being said, I think that's going to about wrap it up for this vlog. I believe I've covered all the topics that I wanted to cover, and I guess I'll just close by saying that if you want to see RC content, I have a lot of RC pictures. In fact, I keep all my RC pics on my Facebook page. I also try to post up new products that I see coming out, or if I see really, really hot, like smoking deals on RC stuff, I'll post them up. I don't post up every single sale ad I can find, but if it's an above average sale, I'll post it up on there. So you guys might want to keep tabs on that. Go ahead and give it a like while you're there. That's www.facebook.com/GrayWolfStudios74, all one word. And if you have any questions or comments, you can feel free to post them up down below. You can post them up on my Facebook page, or you can email them to me at GrayWolfStudios74@gmail.com. Peace.